Shlump.
Hello everybody, it's Shlump here, and today's video is a bit of a different one than normal. I usually make a video focusing on like one game or a specific issue that I'm having. However, this video will be focusing on a bunch of different issues that I've been having with the Steam Deck lately. Specifically after SteamOS, the last SteamOS update came out in desktop mode. Because last SteamOS update, I'd say made the SteamOS experience more stable and less buggy for the user, but it made desktop mode worse to use. And there's a bunch of reasons why I think that, and I'm going to explain them all in this video. The number one reason being that it crashes frequently. And I'm not sure exactly what causes these crashes, but the whole system just freezes up, and you have to hold the power button down on the Steam Deck. So that sucks. And I have found a clue that I think has led to it crashing, and it's when I go into the compositor here, and I see this message. OpenGL compositing, the default has crashed KWin in the past. This was most likely due to a driver bug. If you think you have a meanwhile upgrade to a stable driver, you can reset this protection, but be aware that this might result in an immediate crash. So I have this turned off. And I made a video a few months ago talking about screen tearing on Steam Deck desktop mode, where you're just out here or browsing around on Mozilla and you get screen tearing. I don't know if you can see it right now on YouTube, but if you look at this photo right here of this guy, you can see it. Actually, now it's on the satchel. It kind of changes all the time, but it's definitely there. And I made a video talking about how to solve that, and the way I solved it was I went into here and I changed some settings around. But now it seems those settings are causing Steam Deck to crash after the latest SteamOS update. So that's super annoying. So I have it turned off here, and so it doesn't crash anymore, but I have screen tear. Not in games, but just on the desktop and while I'm watching YouTube videos and stuff. So I haven't really been watching YouTube videos on here of late because I don't want screen tearing all over the screen. Because that's just not an enjoyable time. That's not how I want to watch my videos. And I haven't really seen anybody talking about this issue, the screen tearing one, or the fact that Steam Deck Desktop's mode is now crashing all the time now because of the compositor settings here. I haven't seen anybody talk about that. So that's super weird. And I feel like overall, the Steam Deck, a lot of the sites and just users online have not been talking about how buggy the experience is for it. Because when I got the PS5, I thought that was super buggy. And then I got the Steam Deck and it was like a whole new world of just broken UI, everything crashing, nothing working. I mean, some things worked, but there was a lot of obstacles I would have to get over to get things to work. Things that you think would just be easy. Like, it definitely wasn't as nice of an experience like the Nintendo Switch provides. It's not just pick up and play. There's a lot of tweaking you have to do pretty much for every game. That's why I decided to make this channel, because I figured people should know these tips so that they don't have to go through our struggles like I do. So hopefully I can save some other people some time. But another reason why I would say desktop mode is kind of broken in Steam Deck mode now is that some games, sometimes, my main example being Left 4 Dead 2, after the recent SteamOS update, I went into Left 4 Dead 2 just to play it, just for fun, and I went into the options menu, and then I went out of it, so back to the main menu, and that crashed Left 4 Dead 2, and I was like, that's weird. It's a verified game. I've played it before for quite a while, 13 hours. It's never done that before. And then I decided, okay, maybe something with Left 4 Dead 2, I'll just play a different game. So I went to go play Doom Eternal, which I just gotten working recently. I made a video on that. And I went to settings there to make sure everything was working, because sometimes it does change on its own, which can be annoying when you take the Steam Deck and plug it into a different HDMI output like I do when I'm recording some gameplay footage. Because right here is my normal Steam Deck setup, and then when I'm specifically recording gameplay footage, I take it to a different setup. But I'm here right now, and I played it in here, and I want to make sure all the settings were the same. And they were, but however, when I went out of it, it crashed, just like Left 4 Dead 2. When I went out of the graphics settings back to the main menu, crashed. I was like, okay, how is this happening with two different games? That is so odd. It's never done this before. And restarting it fixed Doom Eternal crashing, but it still happened with Left 4 Dead 2. So Left 4 Dead 2 is kind of busted on the Steam Deck right now, at least in desktop mode. I haven't tried it in SteamOS mode, but at least in desktop mode, it's broken for now. Though Doom Eternal's work, because I played it much more after that. But that was just weird. It's just weird things like that. And also, this thing popped up in the bottom right here, iBus. That's like some sound stuff. And when you changed a tab, like if I go from here to Steam to Firefox, every time it would give you this notification here in the middle of the screen. I think I can show you something like it right now. Let me move the mic. Yeah, you can see that right there. It would pop up every single time I went to a different tab. And especially playing a game, it would change randomly too. It'd be kind of annoying. And this pops up by default whenever you launch desktop mode in Steam Deck. And you can go to Preferences, and somewhere around here you can click Show Icon System Tray, and I actually have it disabled, but it's still there, as you saw. You You have to click it and then disable again for it to close, but then it's going to still pop up the next time you open desktop mode on Steam Deck. So that's kind of bugged, and it was having these big notifications here. I made them a little bit smaller somewhere in the Steam Deck settings, talking about like the amount of information it shows you when you change tabs. And so now it's just this, because I do want to keep this here, to see how much volume I have without having to go here. But it was happening all the time without changing tabs. So I have fixed it now. As a downside of that, the name of the sound input that's currently going out does not show. It's just the sound bar. It used to have the name right here. So like right now, I'm on HDMI. And you'd usually have that here on that sound notification. But now when I do it, it's gone. So that is a downside. But at least this isn't popping up every single time I change tabs. It was super weird. And also, I still have had some crashes, even with the screen tearing set the way it is, where it does happen. Because when I've been trying to upload videos to Google Drive so I can edit them for these YouTube videos I'm making, like the last one I made that should be coming out before this one, about how to play Club Penguin on Steam Deck, I would try to click the button on Google Drive to upload a file, and it would just freeze and not work. And so I'd have to restart the Steam Deck. I wouldn't have to completely shut it down, like hold the power button for 10 seconds like I'd have to do when the entire desktop mode crashes, but it was just kind of Firefox not working, and that didn't happen before with before the latest SteamOS update. But now after it's been updated, everything should become much, much worse. There are a few more bugs that I experienced in desktop mode recently that I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. I probably should have been writing them down, but I didn't expect there to be so many that I wouldn't be able to remember all of them. But the main things are that it crashes, and then you have to have screen tearing or VSync off, and then have screen tearing to stop it from crashing. Even then, sometimes still applications don't work, like Firefox, and also sometimes games can be unstable and crash, like Left 4 Dead 2. And so it may not sound like that big of a deal, but when you're actually using desktop mode a lot, like I do, this is like my main PC now. It's great except for the recent desktop issues I've been having. It really is a big frustration how I have to restart it pretty much like every day now. Well, I had to do that before SteamOS, like the entire time I've owned Steam Deck, because it is still quite buggy in there. Now I have to do it in desktop mode, so that just makes the Steam Deck even worse right now. So Valve really needs to fix that, and I don't know why nobody's talking about this. No one's really ever talked about how buggy the SteamOS is. I think Linus Tech Tips made a video about it, called it unfinished, and you got a lot of hate for that, but it is really an unfinished product. They still have a lot to do with SteamOS and desktop mode, and they've been doing a lot of updates. Valve has been very good about updating it, but I feel like they've still been missing out a bunch of big things and hitting off some smaller things first before addressing the bigger issues. So I really hope Valve can fix this, tune this up, because this is not great in its current state right now, SteamOS and Steam Desktop especially, and hopefully it gets better in the future. But for now, it's just not like the Nintendo Switch. I want it to be pick up and play, but it's just really not. It's not as easy. There's a lot more messing around with it that you have to do. But anyways, that's going to be it from me today. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more Steam Deck videos just like this one. Most people who watch my videos have not actually hit the subscribe button, which is kind of silly, because if you're watching my videos anyways, then why not hit the subscribe button? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Steam Deck video.